Good afternoon. I'm Leslie Earhart with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We had hoped to have good news to share with you by now, but unfortunately, we do not. The search for 5-year-old Summer Wells remains ongoing. Today, teams continue to search the area around Ben Hill Road, and officers and agents continue to follow up on any leads that come in. Many have asked how they can assist with the search. At this time, we are not asking for volunteers to assist. What we are asking is for residents to continue to share photos of Summer and information from credible sources. We know you have a lot of questions about the search area and the process. For that reason, Sheriff Lawson has arranged for Captain Tim Coop to elaborate on those efforts. He's with the Churchill Rescue Squad and is serving as the incident commander of ground search operations. Tim?
Thank you, Leslie. As Leslie elaborated, I wish we could have better news than we do now. From notification of Miss Summer going missing, we have implemented several methods of search and rescue, with most of these that we continue to do. We've utilized ground crews of 80 to 100 people of trained professionals, aerial aviation search, both visual and FLIR, medical THB and TBI assisting us with fixed wing, multiple drones, and 4 different canine units. The day that she went missing, we searched from time of notification until dark. We searched all day yesterday, resumed this morning, continue on throughout the rest of our operational period, utilizing multiple ground crews, drones, fixed wing, and also helicopter with K9 standby. Some of the issues we're encountering with this search is the steep and dangerous terrain. With this steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover, causing search efforts to become very difficult, taking extra time to cover these areas adequately, exhausting teams a lot quicker, in turn causing longer for these grounds to be covered, allowing those teams for recovery and rehab. We have currently covered at this time at 1 mile from the residents last seen by ground and dog. Hopefully by the end of the day, we will have covered 2 ground miles, assisting with THP, expanding theirs to a minimum of 4 miles aerial aviation searching. As she stated, residents in this area, everybody continues to ask, well, if she wandered off, why did somebody not see her? This part of the community, the residents are very spread out. Some being from one hilltop to the other hilltop, or at the start of a road, and you may go a mile back before you get to another residence. It's making that very difficult for residents just to be able to be at home, outside working or something, to notice her leaving that area. As we continue, we will continually assist Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, TBI, and FBI with this search as long as they deem necessary. And as Leslie stated, at this time, we are not asking for any public and or volunteers to assist in the search. A lot of people wonder why. Due to the extreme terrain, the nature of this, trying to locate her, trained professionals is what we need at this time to make sure that these residents don't become endangered and turn around and expand this issue with having to search for somebody else. Thank you.
As we've stated before, the circumstances surrounding Summer's disappearance remain unclear. So if we do develop information that she was taken and we develop a suspect and a vehicle description, of course, we will share that with the public immediately. At this time, that's just not the case. So we'll take a couple of questions, and I'll offer Sheriff Lawson an opportunity to say anything if he wants to.
What time was she last seen, and who reported her missing in the family?
Sheriff.
Her parents reported her missing right around 6:30 p.m.
But when was she, did they say when she was last seen? I know that she was reported missing around that time. Was she last seen earlier in the afternoon or in the day, do you think?
That time is varied because they were searching for their child themselves.
I have a question for Captain. Just wanted to see, are you asking for assistance from other agencies? I know yesterday you all mentioned 19 agencies helping out with the quick turnover in personnel. It sounds like that are searching. Are you all looking for other agencies in surrounding counties to help? And what is the hours that you all are searching?
Yes, so hours of operation this time are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have, like Leslie stated yesterday, we have utilized at this time 19 different agencies throughout the state of Tennessee. We also have multiple agencies outside of our jurisdiction in burning states, and also expanding to Middle Tennessee, having these teams on standby.
You talked about getting tips. Can you give me an idea of the magnitude of tips that you've gotten so far? And with the amount of time that's passed, is there concern, that it's less likely to find the longer it goes?
Of course, the longer this goes, the more concerned we get. At this stage, we've received nearly 50 leads. None have panned out so far.
50?
Yes, approximately 50 at this point.
Who does Summer live with, and is there any history with this family with law enforcement or anything that you're aware of?
Sure.
Summer lived with her parents and 3 siblings.
Are these her biological parents, mother and father?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any history of your office?
1 second. Sorry.
Is there any history of your office going to their home or anyone in the home? Is there any criminal history with any family members?
The father has a criminal history.
Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have it with me.
Is any of the family persons of interest?
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer. The most important thing is find Summer. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing the ground searches, the aerial searches, and finding her is first and foremost.
Are you concerned that this could be an abduction at this point after so much time has passed?
Everything's on the table. I mean, we're looking at everything, crossing every T, dotting every I, and turning every stone. That's why we have 2 different operations. Captain's operation is search and rescue. Law enforcement operation is look into this incident and find Summer.
Is the father's criminal record relevant in this investigation?
No, sir.
I've also heard there's been speculation of the siblings in the household. Just wasn't sure if you're able to elaborate on the siblings at all.
They have 3 others besides Summer.
Older, younger,
Older.
sisters?
Older.
Okay, one more question, guys. Anybody have another question? Okay.
I had a question. We've heard about issues with communications between search teams regarding lack of cell coverage as well as the radios. Can you elaborate on that? What those issues have been and how they've impacted the search?
Well, Captain, he can relate to that. As far as law enforcement, we can't hardly communicate at all on our radios, and cell phones are out of the question. But thanks to AT&T and Verizon, he can tell you about that. They've been a big help to us. Go ahead.
Elaborate on that real quick. AT&T cell phone service boosters to our command post to help try to utilize cell phone coverage, which is still very spotty for most of the area. Radio communication between ground crews and also aerial aviation has been very difficult due to the state that our radio system's in at this time. For ground crew operations, we were having to utilize anywhere from 4 to 6 different radio channels to make sure we have the coverage where everybody's accounted for.
So real quick, when you said that the search area you covered was about a mile, did you mean a quarter mile or a radius around the residence?
That is going to be a radius from around the residence from the last point of her household.
Thanks everybody for being here. Just to clarify, ground search efforts end around 8 o'clock. However, if we do receive any phone calls giving us a credible lead, we do follow up on those leads throughout the night. Thanks for being here. Any updates will be posted on our Twitter feed, and we'll update you again as soon as we have something available. Thank you.
All right, how's it going, everybody? This is a rough one for me, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Before I continue, I want to apologize for the choppy feed. I realize it's a little annoying, but it's the internet here, and I there's 100 devices running off the internet, and there's really nothing I can do about that. Just only the devices I'm using. So so I do apologize for the choppiness, but yeah, this is I've been having a real hard time with this one, guys. It's one thing when an adult goes missing. It's even one thing, and I'm trying to find the right way to word this, when a child is murdered. And the reason why, for me, this is sometimes harder is because when a child is murdered, at least we have the closure, and we have justice to look forward to. When a child goes missing like this, we don't know what's going on. Now there was another Amber Alert. There were 2 Amber Alerts that took place yesterday in Tennessee. One of them I'm not really going to go over, but because it's more of a family thing. They know who this little girl is with, and she's with the non-custodial mother. So that's something to just let law enforcement handle, but this is something that we just don't have any answers for at all. And the area, as you heard the law enforcement officers saying, there's a lot of rough terrain around there. I mean, they can't even get good CB service, much less radio service, much less cell phone service. So all kinds of things run through my head when I think about stuff like that. And right. Beans or Bop. Yeah, you're right about that. Let me just go over some of the facts here. Summer's full name is Summer Moon Utah Wells. It's a beautiful name, and a beautiful little girl. She is 5 years old. The area where she went missing from is Rogersville, Tennessee, and she is blonde, blue eyes, 3 feet tall, and 40 pounds. She was last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt, and possibly barefoot. Now, it's not uncommon. Some people are going to say, well, why is she barefoot? You got to understand, this is very rural Tennessee. This is the South. When I lived in West Virginia, it was not uncommon for kids to run around barefoot around the area of their home. It's people have different cultures as far as how things go. I've seen, and sorry, I'm jumping from one thing to another here, but now if you see anything that could be helpful to the investigation, you can call in tips at the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121, or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. And the TBI also has a Twitter. There's a lot of things about this case that bother me, but I want to be clear about something before I go into anything, guys. And this is something that I'm going to focus on mostly right now. Right now, as you heard, law enforcement wants to keep the public out of the search itself, and for good reason, because the area is very, very dangerous. A lot of places where people could get hurt and lost themselves. So what they don't want to do is, and you heard him say it, what they don't want to do is complicate their investigation for Summer any more than it already is, and then have to search for more than Summer. So the focus is concentrated on Summer right now. Now, you also heard the sheriff explain that you also heard the sheriff explain that everything is on the table. Because I know how this true crime community works. I know how it is. It's one of the things that peeves me the most. And everybody wants to jump and find and start blaming the parents right off the bat. We don't have any information that leads to that yet. And it's not helpful if you start jumping to those conclusions because we don't have enough information. Yes, the father has a criminal history. He declined to elaborate in this press conference what the criminal history consists of because now, it was asked whether or not that criminal history was irrelevant, and the sheriff said no, it is not irrelevant. But that just means that everything is on the table, as he said. That means they're looking at everything. They're no stone unturned, is what this man just said. So, I'm usually not one to go on about things like this until there's more information, but you guys know how I feel about this. You guys know how I feel about jumping to conclusions because this is a 5-year-old little girl. A 5-year-old little girl. She's 3 feet tall. Criminals miss their kids too. We don't know what the criminal history is of the father. We don't know anything. So I don't want anyone right now. I would find it extremely productive if all of us assumed for the moment that these parents are missing their child and want their child back. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys. It does bother me that they have not held a press conference, but at the same time, for all we know, law enforcement has recommended that they don't. For all we know, right? For all we know, since the area is so rural, right? Maybe a press conference with the parents would serve counterproductive. Thinking that. I mean, right now they're kind of operating. Well, like I said, one of the things that they're focused on is the very possibility that she wandered off and fell, or God knows what. So the search is for her. There's no criminal investigation that we know of just yet, and I think it's really important right now, since we know so little, to be supportive of these parents. I know that there are, before the mother privatized her Facebook, some pictures were leaked from the Facebook. I got a hold of a couple of them. One of the things that did concern me, that I'm sure concerned a lot of other people, was the cleanliness of the home, which it lacked. But that does not make the parents criminals. It might make them somewhat negligent, maybe a little bit. But I just don't, I don't find it productive to start judging these parents just yet until we know more. And sorry, I'm looking at chat too as I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, this happens every time, dude. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it infuriates me. Danny B says, lately, every time the parents of missing kid gives an interview, everyone starts judging them and accusing them. Stay off TV, keep the focus on their baby and not them. I agree. Honestly, it's your fault. It's my fault that these parents probably have been recommended to not give a press conference, because as soon as they give a press conference, we're breaking down every single little movement like we're all body language experts, and we're not. None of us are. Because for some reason, people who follow true crime, they want to jump to the conclusion that the parents are involved. They think the worst possible thing about the people who are most likely missing and loving this child more than anybody in the world. So on top of the stress of their child missing, they've got to deal with the internet trashing them and picking apart every little part of their lives, picking apart every little statement they make, picking apart every little movement that they make on a camera, in front of a camera. And I do not subscribe to that. I just don't. So I don't see how it would actually, at this point, we all need to take some accountability when you're sitting there going, well, why wouldn't the parents get in front of a camera and start giving descriptions and this and this and this? Well, that's why. It's your fault. It's my fault. Because the focus is going to be on them and not finding the child. So that's the main reason why I went live about this with very little information, because I want to encourage all of you. This is one of those times that I wish my channel was, my old channel was up, because I would have more people to listen. Because I implore you guys to please keep your focus on what is helpful in finding and locating Summer. That little girl needs to be found. She doesn't need her parents judged. And right, Tart with the Heart, I agree with you. The police are they're not, they're professionals. That's what they said. That's why. Well, why won't they let the public help start a big search party? Well, because it's dangerous. Because the area is so rural that somebody could get hurt trying to do good, and all that's going to do is complicate the search for Summer. So it's best to just leave this up to professionals. So, and I've already seen a couple of YouTube channels. Luckily, they're smaller ones, but I've already seen a couple of YouTube channels just sitting there and spouting, oh, well, I don't like that. I think that's fishy. I suspect foul play. Blah, blah, blah. You don't know anything to suspect foul play. Shut up. Shut your mouth. If you're out there squawking about these parents, shut your mouth, because you don't know anything. So I'm begging all of you right now, just for now at least, assume that these parents really, really miss their child. Guys, you followed the Joe Clyde Daniels case with me all the way through to the end. We're 99% done with that. All we're waiting for is a sentencing. We saw an entire trial, and we saw evidence of how thorough the TBI is in their investigations. I don't subscribe to coincidence, people. I do not subscribe that this is a coincidence that we just covered the Joe Clyde Daniels case, which took place in Tennessee, and now this is happening in Tennessee as well. Not that I think that they're connected. I don't want you to misunderstand that. I mean, in the grander scheme of things, I do not believe in coincidence. I take that as a sign to trust the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and what they do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Facebook groups are gross, man. Stay out of the Facebook groups. I highly recommend it. Stay out of the Facebook groups. Don't even engage, or start or start a productive Facebook group. You can do that. That would be great. But right now, assume that these parents are missing their child more than anybody in the world. 3 older siblings missing their little sister. This is one of those cases, guys, where we need to let the professionals do their job, because as we just heard, this is a case where the professionals are the only ones equipped to do this job. We can't contribute anything other than keeping our eyes open. It's all we can do. You got to let the pros do their job. I mean, that doesn't even apply, Aaron Thurman. Not yet. I mean, innocent until proven guilty, sure, but it's not even a question of proving anything. We don't know anything. There's nothing to suspect these parents of anything. What, a dirty house? A dirty house? That's, come on. And then there's questions because she's probably got really short hair, because I've seen pictures of her where she has a shaved head. What the reason is behind the parents shaving the head, who knows? It's quite possible that they're very, very poor. It's quite possible there was a lice issue. And there are different means of dealing with lice. I understand that, but those means cost money. Maybe the only way they could afford was to shave their head. I'm just speculating here. I don't know. What I'm saying is, until we know more, that is none of our business. That is absolutely none of our business until we know more. But the last thing I'm going to do is just assume that the parents shaved this child's head to punish her in some way, shape, or form. I'm just not going to do that. Right now, with the little that we know, these parents need our support. And you guys know me, man. You guys know me. If I find out that they had something to do with any of this, I'm going to tear them apart on here. You know that. You know me. But I'm asking you to be patient. I'm asking you to just wait until it's deserving. If that's the case. I don't want it to be the case. What I want is to find out that this child wandered off and she's scared somewhere and she's going to be safely returned to her folks. And then we can all just move on to the next case. That's what I truly, truly hope for. I'm gonna share something. I think I have some footage here of the area in which they're searching. So let's take a look at that. I'm sorry again about the choppy feed. I mean, but it's so messed up that this has become such a genre that subconsciously some of us actually want to find out that there was foul play. Subconsciously, just for the sake of a more interesting, dramatic story. And I'm not with that, man. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Hold on. All right. So here's
Jeff Bobo with the Kingsport Times News, and I'm at the staging grounds for the rescue effort for 5-year-old Summer Wells. This is the Mount Carmel Free Will Baptist Church, and just for the record, I'm in my car, but I've got my tripod, so I'm not breaking the law. I'm not breaking the hands-free law. But I just wanted to give you an idea of the territory, the grounds that they're covering here. This is the command center, where they've been since Tuesday evening. And so from there, this is Beech Creek Road. This is basically the end of Beech Creek Road on the way to Sullivan County line. And I'm going to give you an idea of the terrain, the territory, the distance that we're talking about. The command post at the Mount Carmel Free Will Baptist Church on Beech Creek Road, that's where we just pulled out of. Now we're going about 45 miles an hour, and you'll see what the terrain looks like and how far it is to the Ben Hill Road.
That's the middle of nowhere, dude.
Summer Wells was missing, and where the rescue efforts are taking place. They had to make
That is the middle of nowhere
post at that church because there was enough flat ground and room for them to have all the rescuers come and park their vehicles. And they've been busing, for the most part, rescuers up here to Ben Hill Road, which we're approaching. As you can see, there's a lot of vacant ground, hayfield. There's not very many residences here. Very sparsely populated part of the county. I just came from the press conference, which is at another church, which is in Sullivan County, just over the Sullivan County line, at a church which is at the very dead end of Beech Creek Road, and we can continue on there. And just to give you an idea of what's going on, that's where the media has been staged. So they've got the media at the end of Beech Creek Road. Here we come. We're approaching Ben Hill Road. See the sign there, and you can see that over this mound here. This is that's it. And I can't stop because this is a blind curve, but now we're going to go ahead and continue on to the county line, just to give you an idea of where we're at. So as I said, we started at the command post at the Mount Carmel Free Will Baptist Church on Beech Creek Road. Now we just passed Ben Hill Road, which is where the home of Summer Wells and her family is, and where she went missing Tuesday evening. And we're approaching the Sullivan County line, just to give you an idea of what the geography.
Not that I know of, Dizzy Lizzy.
Community.
I mean, look at this place. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Like, you don't want to run out of
Sullivan
gas
County
near
line
there.
right
You know what I'm saying?
And then if you continue on, and you can see up ahead here, this is the dead end of Beech Creek Road, where the meteor is staged. And we just had a press conference with the TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, and there was Churchill Rescue Squad Captain Tim Coop. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a helicopter flying up there, and I've been filming these helicopters. They've got rescue helicopters. Tennessee Highway Patrol has provided. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but Anyway, so you can see that's the media center. You can see over my rearview mirror. That's the media area, and we're gonna go ahead and sign off here. This is the Van Hill Road again, or Ben Hill Road. I'm sorry. And then here's the staging area, or the home base, I guess you call it. So, all right, I guess we'll head on back. I think there's nothing else I can do here.
All right, guys. So, yeah, so you could see that area and how rural it is. And yes, Beanzerbop, I know that's not as rural as it gets. I've been to more. I've been to very, very rural areas in West Virginia, which, about the scariest thing that could happen to you is getting lost in some of these areas. And so right now, all of you who claim to send thoughts and prayers and that sort of thing, send them to the parents. Please send them to the parents. Send them hoping that this little child is found alive, unharmed, simply just lost. And I realize, St. Elmo's Fire, and thank you for joining Patreon. I appreciate it. I realize this will be the third night. And we're losing Sun as we speak. I think it was, Woman of Sparta, it is. I mean, and speaking of which, I mean, the sheriff had to stop talking to answer one of the press's questions. He had to stop talking because a truck taking bales of hay was driving by. I haven't seen a truck carrying bales of hay in years. You know what I mean? I mean, this is areas where people have land that's just stretched for, just acres and acres of land. I mean, Road King, a lot of snakes, right? I mean, a lot of wildlife, a lot of dangerous and hostile wildlife in this area. See, that's what we need right now, LJ. That's the stuff we need right now. Those are the kind of comments we need right now. And I want to thank you for making that comment. This is the kind of attitude we need to have right now, people, because I truly, truly believe in positive energy. I do believe in prayer. You guys might think, well, Will, you're not religious. How can you believe in prayer? I believe that prayer is sending positive energy. Absolutely. To truly, from the bottom of your heart, really hope and manifest that hope into prayer. That's powerful. I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. And as a matter of fact, I'll give you an example. I remember I was on someone's channel when we were waiting for news, when the case broke on Heidi Broussard. And Heidi Broussard and her infant child went missing. And there was a break in the case, and we were just waiting and hoping and praying on news because we knew they were found. We just didn't know if they were found alive. and we were on this channel, and I was praying, and and the chat was just filled up with positivity, with praying hands, with hearts. The chat was just filled up with this. Now, Heidi Broussard was found, unfortunately, tragically, she was murdered. But little baby Margot was found completely and totally unharmed. I don't believe that to be an accident. I don't believe that to be a coincidence. I truly believe that all of that positivity collected in that chat and in probably so many others resulted in that little baby being found safe and unharmed. I believe that with all my heart. So this is what we need right now, guys. So, all right. So little Summer Moon, Utah Wells, 5 years old. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 3 feet tall, 40 pounds. Last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt, and possibly barefoot. I'm going to go ahead and call it, guys. If I get any updates, I will go live again. But please, please, please focus your energy on sending hope instead of focusing your energy on assuming horrible things done by people that are supposed to love and miss this child more than anybody in the world. Okay? So please, I'm asking you for that favors. Please do that. Focus your energy on finding this child safely. All right. I love you guys, and we'll do this again very soon.